This is He Knows Everything, bringing you the heat and fart. We keeping the foot on the what? The Knicks. We keeping the foot on the what? The Knicks. And like the Tibetan mastiff that I am, and like the Siberian tiger that I am, I'm applying what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts its pipes. Let's talk about it, man. Gervonta Tank Davis is doing something. I liken Gervonta Tank Davis as the Errol the True Spence of 130, 135, and 140. Why do I say that? Gervonta Tank Davis and Errol the True Spence have a special symbiotic relationship in how they ingratiate themselves in boxing. Let me say it again. Gervonta Tank Davis and Errol the True Spence have a symbiotic relationship in how they ingratiate themselves in boxing. Notice they have the ultimate respect for one another when it comes to the sport of boxing, because they both understand what they bring to the table that's dynamic. Tank does this from, he will literally tank your ass. Errol the True Spence does it from a tactical aggression, technical punching placement, and body snatching work, the levying onslaught, the punishment style stance. But nevertheless, both of their styles are impressive in of itself because they both do it from a fundamentally different way. They both dominate you in their own way, but it's exciting. It's must see. The interesting part about it is both fighters are front foot dominant. Both fighters are front foot lethal. Both fighters have a front foot ability that, although it's uniquely different, it's also equally exciting. You don't know if an uppercut's going to find you with Gervonta Tank Davis. You don't know if Gervonta Tank Davis is going to stay flush you with a right hand or left hand. But you know it's coming in one of those factors, in one of those variations, one of those aspects, one of those types of ways of how he boxes. Errol the True Spence, you don't know how he's going to give you a variation on that jab. Is it going to be stiff jab? If it's going to be looping jab? If it's going to be basically a flush jab? Is it going to be a blinding jab? Or is it a combination of all of them incorporated in one as a conglomerate of a levying onslaught of punishment? And then on top of that, a tactical aggression. And then on top of that, a technical punching placement. And then on top of that, a body snatching work, a levying onslaught of the punishment style. These two guys have proven what He Knows Everything told you. And a prediction, King strikes again. And a prediction, King strikes again. That these two guys would dominate boxing. They would dominate the landscape of the sport the way that they've done. And look at how they've done it. They've done it in such an emphatic fashion. They've done it in such what we would say a dominant way. They've done it in such a way we haven't seen in this sport in a very long time. Gervonta Tank Davis has taken the mantle. A lot of people want to give it to Devin Haney. Devin Haney doesn't have the Floyd Mayweather prerequisites. To have the Floyd Mayweather prerequisites, you have to have two things going for you. You have to be doing your shit in the ring, but you also have to be box office outside of the ring. Let me say it again. You have to be doing your shit in the ring, but you also have to be box office outside of the ring. This is what you get from Gervonta Tank Davis. You get the full levying onslaught conglomeration of box office outside of the ring, but he's also exciting and thrilling inside of the ring. He's must-see TV. Same thing with Errol the True Spence. You don't get this from a Devin Haney. You don't get this from a Deontay Wilder. They don't give you both of these dichotomies. This is why Richard Schaefer said we left the Mayweather era, but we ushered into the Spence era. But I'm going to tell you guys something too. Gervonta Tank Davis has a stake in that era too. Because Gervonta Tank Davis, for what he's able to do at 130, 135, and 140, this guy's going up to a new weight class. He's fighting one of the top lions at that new weight class. And he's about to basically take on a hard, arduous fight. This speaks volumes of his talent. It speaks volumes of who he is as a fighter. And it speaks volumes of his mental fortitude. But last time I checked, he calls himself the Big Eight. He's a King Kong, true alpha extraordinaire, governed by true alpha economics. And that's great stock to hang your hat on. Because last time I checked, King Kong ain't got no quit in him. Let me say it again. King Kong ain't got no quit in him. Even when Godzilla beat his ass to death, King Kong basically wanted Godzilla to beat him to death because he wasn't just going to go down like that. This is what Gervonta Tank Davis's fiber and being is made up of. But instead of black community fan bases, boxing community fan bases, getting behind this ideology, they spit it out. Let me say that. They spit it out. They only talk about Gervonta Tank Davis and Floyd when it benefits them. Instead of lumping Gervonta Tank Davis in the same fold that they would with Devin Haney, the same fold that they would with Deontay Wilder. But we know about that divide and conquer, and we know about that conquer and divide. We know what that's all about. They low-key always throwing digs at Errol the True Spence. They're hoping that Terrence Bud Crawford gives Errol the True Spence basically a beatdown. We know that's not going to happen. They just so far gone on how to justify Terrence Bud Crawford, they have no choice but to bend the proverbial fucking knee, kiss the ring while they at it, and accept the fact that they were wrong emphatically about the Chihuahua barking behind the damn fence. But when it's all said and done, Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't get the credit he deserves. For a guy that has systematically and fundamentally dominated a division the way that he has, and the fact that he doesn't get the respect for it, it's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, It's the same with Errol the True Spence. The fact that he's taking on all of the heavyweight lifting opponents, heavyweight lifting the notion at the welterweight division, there's always a new criteria. There's always a new barrier. There's always a Errol the True Spence ain't this. He ain't 100%. But mediocre individuals like Devin Haney, mediocre individuals like the Chihuahua walking behind the damn fence, and Terrence Bud Crawford, they make excuses. But this is not an indictment on those guys. It's an indictment on those who supposedly say they know boxing, but they are clueless as fuck. The bottom line is Gervonta Tank Davis's box office, inside and outside the ring. Errol the True Spence's box office, inside and outside the ring. They don't want to tell you that Devin Haney is stealing Gervonta Tank's thunder. They don't want to say that he's copycatting Gervonta Tank Davis, but he's really looking bad. Devin Haney is doing what Zab Judah used to do to Floyd. Let me say it again. Devin Haney is doing what Zab Judah used to do with Floyd. But Zab Judah couldn't pull it off because Zab Judah was not box office outside the ring. It didn't translate. It's the same shit with Devin Haney. It's the same shit with Deontay Wilder. Gervonta Tank Davis and Errol the True Spence are double dragons, true alpha extraordinaires governed by true alpha economics. And notice when they talk about each other, they have the highest respect for each other because they both know what each other draws. You know that with Gervonta Tank Davis, everybody fucking knows him and everybody's coming to his fights. You know with Errol the True Spence, everybody fucking knows him and everybody's coming to his fights. You want to know why? Because both of these guys are categorically box office. Both of these guys are fundamentally box office. Both of these guys are fun. Both of these guys are what we would say are guys that people want to get behind. That's the cold part. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat true teller fashion. I keeps the foot on the whoop on the Knicks. I keeps the foot on the whoop on the Knicks. If fight fans don't want to give Gervonta Tank Davis or Errol the True Spence their credit, then he knows everything's going to do that for them. Again, that's the cold-hearted, that's the unadulterated, that's the cutthroat true teller fashion. I keeps the foot on the whoop on the X. I keeps the foot on the whoop on the X. This is He Knows Everything. Check it out.